I welcome you all very warmly and thank you for finally deciding to formally agree and sign our Memorandum of Understanding. Your presence here is the clearest possible evidence of the determination of all of us, not just to fight the menace of drugs, but to fight and win the upper hand. Your visitation here demonstrates the wholehearted commitment of your organization, GMAD, to do something responsibly sensible about the drug problem. You have not come here to spend time in generalities, but to agree on action. Action to reduce the demand for drugs. Action against growing threat from all kinds of illegal drugs. Ladies and gentlemen, mankind has many enemies. Some of them been with us long time ago, as man himself has existed, like war, poverty, famine, drought, and disease. Mga bagyo, mga tsunami, earthquake, and including illegal drugs. But even as we have begun to conquer these age-old enemies, they have been reinforced by others, and two in particular. I really appreciate your coming here to address one of these enemies, which is the problem on illegal drugs, and to cooperate and coordinate relative to combating illegal drugs activities. The insidious threat to our way of life from drugs and from evils that brings in their wake, disease, corruption, violence, and crime, breaking up families and destroying young lives. But what is most encouraging, ladies and gentlemen, is that we will now finally work hand in hand in fighting this menace through a memorandum of understanding we just signed. These problems on illicit drugs are worldwide, and solution will only be found if we put together all our resources and expertise in a great common effort. Let me suggest at the outset specific areas where we can help. First, we should do more to educate our young people in the terrible consequences of drug abuse. What it can do to their health, to their job prospects, to their hopes for a normal and happy life. There's no glamour in drugs, only depravity and despair. But we have to recognize that the right action started now will take quite a time to produce results. Second, we can do more to deter through advertising and publicity on the lines of our own drug prevention publicity campaign. Sometimes this may have to be painfully explicit about the consequence of drug taking. Many of us have been successful through the sort of campaign in deterring young people from smoking and from the kind of behavior. We can use some same technique against drugs. Third, we should set out to strengthen the importance of the family and the community as a protection against drug abuse. The problem is never going to be solved by governments and the PNP and police forces on their own. So often, drug taking starts amongst other young people in the company of friends, yung peer pressure na, no? At parties in the local community, and that is where it must be tackled by parental control or supervision. By example, by leadership and by drug prevention initiative within this community. Fourth, we have to improve ways to identify those taking drugs at an early stage before their dependence goes too far. Then they can be counseled and helped while the problem is more easily solvable or masosolve ka agad, no? Kasi I can assure you that the PNP will never tolerate illicit drugs. Those actions mentioned have already been in the practice of this PNP unit. We are conducting seminars to raise awareness both in private and public schools and social media. We also have been coordinating with various NGOs, and you is only one of those NGOs. These community action plans are to launch a new scheme known as drug demand reduction, yun sinabi ko kanina, to help fight drug dealing and to raise vast awareness of dangers and of techniques which drug pushers used to be forewarned of their methods helps young people to resist them. I am sure that other ideas will emerge in the course of our discussion. So, hopefully, si Dr. Ate Stella makatulong sa atin. Our aim is to enable us to go home after this MAU signing with a clear picture of the whole range of measures which are available to reduce demand for drugs. We can then consider how they can be applied for more effectively in each of our organization, like GMADI. We want this occasion to examine every aspect of drug problems, most especially those that affect our youth. What we can do to stamp out dealings in cocaine on streets, in the clubs and bars, and worst of all, in schools. Yung po ang banday natin, schools. We look forward to your reflections on how to build an even closer and mutually beneficial relationship between the PNP Drug Enforcement Group and GMADI in the coming years. Please know that you already have this PNP unit firm commitment to your endeavor. So again, maraming salamat po sa inyo at mabuhay po tayong lahat.